This is Mayor Oliver Gilbert, and we've gone virtual. At home, remaining safe, I want to make sure that the activities that we enjoy together as a community could be brought to you online. Join me for healthy cooking and nutrition with common threads. Let's cook and stay healthy together. Bon appetit.
Facebook family, this is Mayor Oliver Gilbert, and I'm here, Chef Mimi and I. We're going to be preparing two things for you today. This is a special weekend coming up. This is Mother's Day weekend coming up. And so we know you're stuck in the house, but you're there. You might be there with your mom. Listen, we're going to make some banana oat pancakes for mom, and we're going to make this special drink. I call it our mango mojito without alcohol for mom for Mother's Day. Chef Mimi, what you think about that?
I love it. I'm ready. I have my glasses ready for the mango mojito, the virgin mango mojito, I guess we could call it. And I'm excited because, as a mom and as a chef instructor for Common Threads, this is like bringing it all together, We're making a recipe that we want to have, give to our families, something that's delicious and good for them. So these pancakes are gonna do the job for Mother's Day brunch.
I am ready.
All right.
Where are we starting at?
So maybe we should start with the drink, or would you rather start with the pancake?
Let's start with the pancake.
Okay. All right, great. So let me first show you guys some of the ingredients that we have for our pancakes. So they are banana oat pancakes. They're going to be a little bit heartier than your traditional pancakes because we have are incorporating those oats in there. The oats are in there for nutrition and to make us feel good and to set us up for a great day. These are awesome pancakes to make ahead of time because they can be easily frozen. So I hope you guys enjoy them for Mother's Day, but then definitely make a big batch of them, keep them frozen in your freezer, and they're really great start to any day of the week. So some of the ingredients that we are going to be using. So as you know, or as you may know, in baking, we always keep the wet ingredients and the dry ingredients separate, and we mix those separately first, and then we combine everything to make the batter. So for the dry ingredients, I have it all set out here in individual bowls for me to show you each ingredient. But when you're at home making this, you're not going to end up making such a mess. You don't need to use so many different bowls and things. So this is just regular all-purpose flour, 3/4 cup, and you're going to go ahead and put that into a big bowl.
Okay.
So when you're at home making this, just use a big bowl for your dry ingredients like this. So
this flour?
That's flour.
Okay, this is flour. You said 3/4 flour.
Yep, 3/4 cup of flour. The way I like to do it, you can use that, or if you have a 1/4 cup measuring cup like this,
1/4 cup measuring.
you do that 3 times, and you've got 3/4 cups. So at Common Threads, we always love to get the kids in there.
All right, got it.
Yeah, so there you go. Measure out your flour and put it in the bowl. This is a great way to get kids in the kitchen too, Mayor. If you want to have kids involved and give them something to do, and also give them a learning opportunity.
So, Mimi, you always say that, but I'm going to tell you, having our kids in the kitchen with us is more of a mess, and it's going to take more time. And that thing about letting them do the chopping thing, some of these kids, I don't know. But
listen, Mayor Gilbert, let me just tell you, in our cooking classes with kids, we teach them how to do everything safely. And I know, when you're at home, it can get a little messy, but there's so much value in it and bringing the kids into the kitchen, Not only are you spending time with them.
What? You're right. I'm going to bring my kid in the kitchen. Nisha, come on.
All right. So the next ingredient are going to be those oats. So 3/4 cups of oats as well. And you combine that. We're moving on with our dry ingredients.
Bring your kid to work day right here. Bring your kid to work day, you see? Do the daddy thing. Daddy, do it. Okay. No, okay, 3/4 cups.
Yep. So same amount of all-purpose flour and oats.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Put them in there right with the flour. Same bowl. Excellent. Okay, we're moving on with our next dry ingredient, baking powder.
Baking powder.
What is going to create some bubbles and some air pockets in our pancakes and make them, so I'm sorry, 1 teaspoon of baking powder.
1 teaspoon.
Yep.
That's the green one. Okay.
1 teaspoon of baking powder and a tablespoon of sugar. All right. So the baking
tablespoon of sugar.
Baking powder is always, not always, you can either use baking powder or baking soda in pancakes, depending on some of the other ingredients. In our recipe, we're using baking powder, and that's going to help make the pancakes fluffy. And then we have a 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. You can use any spice that you like. It does not have to be cinnamon, but cinnamon goes well with banana, so we're going to go ahead and use that. So 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon.
Yeah, we got that covered.
Cool. And then we are going to go with a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, just a touch of salt. If you've got too much salt in your pancake batter, it's going to toughen up the pancakes. But salt is important because it brings out flavor in all ingredients. So adding just a touch of salt is definitely recommended. So those are our dry ingredients. Everything is mixed together in this bowl. So we want to make sure that it's incorporated really well. So mix your dry ingredients and make sure that everything is evenly dispersed. And we are doing this because once you add the wet ingredients to the dry ingredients, that baking soda or baking powder is going to get activated. And we don't want to spend too much time mixing at that point because we're going to lose some of those bubbles if we mix them out of the batter. So this is why we keep wet and dry separate. So those are our dry ingredients, and you can set that aside once it's all mixed together. And we're going to go on with our wet ingredients.
Okay.
All right, so now we're going to start with mashing some bananas. We've got 2 bananas in this recipe, so go ahead and throw them in a bowl. And with a fork, you mash them up. Another great way to get your kids in there. So, this is a recipe for Mother's Day. Let's talk about moms.
Let me get that. Okay, so we're mashing up bananas, right? Okay, hold on. I had a banana malfunction.
Okay, that happens. All right. So tell me about your mom, Mayor Gilbert.
My mom is first of all, she's a baker. So wait, how are we mashing these?
Yeah, mash. Sorry, mash. Mash with a fork. That works best for me, but if you have something else in the kitchen that works good for mashing, by all means.
Well, my mom is a baker. Well, she likes to bake. She's always baked. By trade, she was actually an educator. So she taught science and math for a very long time, and she was a librarian in the public school system down here. So I was raised by an educator. And she would always wake up in the morning on Sundays, and she would make homemade biscuits from scratch. She used to make pancakes, nothing like this. We just used the regular, Ancient Mama pancakes mix. We would spice it up with a little cinnamon, so we thought it was special.
That's so sweet, though, that she would cook for you guys every morning and, make
no, that was just on Sundays. On the regular months we had to go to school, we had Captain Crunch and maybe some stuff like that. But my mom's a wonderful mom. I tell people all the time, I wouldn't be mayor of the city if my mom hadn't done what she did. My parents generally. So it's I'm the product of one of the wonderful homes in Miami Gardens. Born and raised here.
Right, I was going to ask that. You were raised in Miami Gardens. You grew up there.
Yep. Sure was. All right, I've mashed up the bananas here.
All right, so now the bananas are mashed, and they're going to be like the base for our wet ingredients. The next thing we're going to add is just 1 egg. I like to scramble it up first, just like this, and then add it to the bananas, just so that you don't have to do that work with the bananas in there. All right, so there's the egg, the bananas. We're going to add 8 tablespoons of canola oil, 1 tablespoon. So these pancakes are great because, you know, they're hearty, they're nutritious. You can substitute different types of fruit if you wanted to give it a different flavor. So 1 tablespoon of oil, and then a teaspoon of vanilla extract. More flavor.
And a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Here, this is. I hope this is vanilla.
Are you gonna see your mom this Mother's Day?
I am hopeful. I'm probably gonna take my son around there to see her. She's older in age, and so we don't want to, you know, take Corona into the house. So we'll probably just see her from a distance.
Yeah, same here. My mom lives nearby, and I'm gonna also be seeing her through Zoom probably. So times have changed.
My mom doesn't use Zoom yet, and I'm okay with that.
The last wet ingredient we're gonna add is some milk. So a half cup of low-fat milk. Stir it in there. I'm going to just move some of this stuff out of the way so that I can get my frying pan near the camera. All right, so now we should have the wet and the dry. So my mom was a huge influence on me. She grew up, her father was a diplomat for the American government. So they grew up in different parts of the world, my mom, and she loves to cook, and that definitely rubbed off on me. And she loves to cook food from different parts of the world. So I learned to appreciate different flavors and foods early on, because she would spend a lot of time making really delicious meals for us when we were living abroad. So that was a great influence. And I didn't know it until I was a lot older that that had made such an impact on me. So I discovered my love for cooking a little bit later, but I'm glad I did it. And teaching people how to cook nutritious meals is so rewarding. I love doing it. All right, so you've got your wet and dry done and ready to go?
Do I need to mix them together?
We're going to mix them together next. So as you know, with pancakes, you don't want to like overmix your batter, right? If you overmix it, it's going to make those pancakes a little tough. So we're just going to, with a spatula, sort of mix it all together, but just until it's combined. If there's some lumps in there, don't worry about it. They'll come out when we cook them.
Okay.
So what I like to do at this point now, since the mixing part is so quick, is that I like to start to get my pan heated. So go ahead and do that. You want to have a nice hot griddle or nonstick pan or whatever you're going to use. You want it to be nice and hot, ready for those pancakes. You know how the first pancake always comes out a little bit weird?
That's always the weird pancake. We give that to the little sister.
So the weird pancake is normally and probably due to a pan not being hot enough. So get that pan hot. Go ahead and add your wet to the dry once your pan is on and waiting for you.
The pan on waiting for me. Is it hot?
So you want to be careful because, you know, pancakes have sugar in them. They have that baking powder. All of that is it's conducive to browning. So if we have it too hot, you might get a little bit of burning. So we're going to control that with the heat under the pan. All right, so combine your wet with the dry. So if moms wanted to, like kids wanted to make this with moms, you know, tomorrow or, the day before Mother's Day, that would be a great idea. That way you don't have to get up and get in the kitchen right away. You can just make these ahead of time. I wouldn't put them in the freezer since they'll only be hanging out for a day in the fridge. And then the next day you can you cook them the day before, you make them, and then you put them in the fridge or freezer, and then you just heat them up the next day. So you don't want to stir too much. Make sure you just stir enough to get it combined. So you can see from your from the batter that it's pretty thick batter. It's not your traditional pancake batter. These are like heartier pancakes. In the recipe, we're not going to do it today, but in the recipe, it tells you to let that batter sit for like 10 to 15 minutes. And that's a good idea because that lets those oats soak up some of that moisture and they become a little bit tender, more tender and not so chewy. But for today's purpose, we're just going to go ahead and cook some of these up. So for the cooking portion, I'm using a nonstick pan so that I don't have to use a lot of oil. If I were using a regular stainless steel pan or something with a nonstick, without a nonstick surface, you need a lot of oil so that the pancake doesn't stick to the bottom, right? So if you wanted to cut down on the fat, definitely go with a nonstick pan or a griddle and add just a little bit of oil. A little bit goes a long way. You don't need too much with nonstick, which is the beauty of it. So you put a little bit of oil on there. I know my pan is hot because as soon as the oil hits the pan, it starts to disperse. And then take one of your measuring cups or a spoon and measure out about 2 tablespoons or so of the batter onto your pan. Since these are nice and hearty, sort of thick pancakes, I'm going to make smaller pancakes. And I'm going to go ahead and do 3 at a time. And I can hear my pan sizzling. I don't know if you guys can. But with the heat now, we want to be careful. The bananas have that natural sugar. We added a little bit more sugar. It's got baking powder in there. So these are going to brown real quick. So what you want to do as soon as you put your batter in the pan is to lower the temperature so that it's not too hot. It starts to decrease in temperature. And your pancakes can cook on there for 2 to 3 minutes without burning. So we're going to give them a few minutes. As I said, like 2 to 3 minutes. And with these pancakes, because they have the oats in it, they're not the traditional kind where you're going to see those bubbles coming up, which is a sign that it's time to flip them, right? So in our case, with these pancakes, we are going to just check out the edges around here. As soon as you see them browning up and sort of drying a little bit, that's your cue to flip, but more or less about 3 minutes per side. So we're just going to let them cook. And then to serve these up, you can slice some bananas on them and add some maple syrup, and you're good to go. How are yours looking over there? Huh? How are you looking?
Yeah, interesting.
Why interesting? So they're not.
We're doing all right. We're going to see.
Good. Don't worry about it. They're going to be amazing.
Don't worry about it. Nisha, Lavere, and Al are going to taste them no matter what.
So listen, these ingredients, like the other ones that we've been doing all along, are really affordable, accessible. Things are changing again, right? We're being told that, some of the foods that we like to eat are now going to be less available. So it's really important to have alternative recipes and ingredients that we can use. And a lot of the ingredients in today's recipe are available probably in your pantry as we speak. So super easy, super affordable, accessible pancake recipe here. If you had a dietary restriction or a preference for other types of flour, you could, substitute some flours, but you do have to look it up a little bit because not every flour will work with something like this. For example, like a whole wheat flour with this recipe would be a little too much whole grain, but it would work really well with a recipe that does not have oats in it as well. So I think we're probably ready to flip. Do you see brown edges around the pancakes?
Yeah.
Okay. So go ahead and flip. For these pancakes, you might need 2 tools. I have a spatula here and a rubber spatula to help me flip my pancakes. But when you flip, you don't be afraid. Just get right under the pancake there and scoop it up and flip it over. These are looking pretty nice over here.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to show us your pancakes in a second, right?
Probably.
All right, so now I flipped them. They're going to take another maybe 3 minutes or so, and then they'll be ready. And we can make that fancy drink you have. So yes, this Mother's Day is definitely going to be a different. It's going to have a different vibe to it for everybody, right? My mom has been sheltering at home, keeping safe. I haven't been able to see her in over a month, even though she lives about 4 blocks away. So
wow,
that's kind of a bummer, but looking forward to sharing some time with her over Skype or Zoom on Sunday. So for your pancakes, did you get some maple syrup? Mayor Gilbert.
Yeah, I have maple syrup.
All right. And for your drink, you actually, we have agave nectar, which could also be used for the pancakes if you don't have syrup at home. That would be a really good substitute. Okay, so these pancakes are pretty much ready. I have 3 of them here. As you can see, they are not the thin pancakes. They're thicker, really hearty, delicious, nutritious pancakes. Add any type of fruit that you like on top. Serve it up with a little bit of maple syrup or agave nectar or any kind of that you prefer. And these are great because these will keep you feeling fuller longer. So if you have traditional pancakes are usually made with refined sugar and refined flour. So those foods are delicious, but they go right through us real quick and they give us a sugar spike and then we crash. But these are going to keep us feeling really good all day long. So it's a really healthy start to the day. All right, so pancakes ready. We can plate them up and make a drink.
All right, well, let's start with the drink. I'm doing an experiment back here with my pancakes. Let's start with the drink.
Okay. Sounds good. So you lead the way. This is your recipe.
Oh, wow. Okay, so this isn't actually my recipe. I got this from Anike. Hold on. I was talking to a young lady who has a business in our community, and her name is, I want to pronounce her last name correctly, Anike Sikaruyawu from the Seek Foundation. And they educate kids on science, STEM, all this other stuff. And she was telling me that you could make an actual soda. And I was like, you make your own soda? She's like, yeah, make your own soda. I was like, well, I'm going to be cooking with Chef Mimi. Why don't you give me the recipe for make your own soda? So I said, well, I'm going to make me a mango mojito, a virgin mango mojito to go with our pancakes for our moms. And so we went and got, now the ingredients you need for this is 1 cup of carbonated water. So let's say Pellegrino water, 1 tablespoon of agave, and 3 tablespoons of fruit you like, just some type of fruit that you like.
Okay.
All right?
All right. So with the fruit, is it something that you just cut up and throw in there?
Something to cut up and that you can actually add and mix it up in the food processor. What I did was get mango, and I'm going to use the bear claw. Like I was talking, I'm going to use the bear claw, and I'm going to go ahead and cut that mango like that.
Okay.
Just cut that mango, and I'm going to bear claw it, and I'm going to go ahead and get that there. And
I'm making mine with orange because I have.
That works.
No, I'm about to cook
That
some
works.
field peas.
Mine is going to be kind of like a mimosa then, I guess, a virgin mimosa because it's got orange and the bubbly water.
Go get them so I can cook on Saturday, and then you can take part of those as well.
You know, this is a great recipe because it's bringing, you know, some attention to something that at Common Threads we feel needs a lot of attention, which is like drink alternatives, right? Things that don't have too much sugar in them, that aren't just, you know, your plain old water, everyday water, although I love it, but sometimes you need other with more flavor. So this is a really nice alternative for families to have instead of soda. Did your mom let you drink soda when you were little?
You know what? She did, but ironically, my son doesn't drink soda, and I don't drink soda now. So I drink water, basically. It's either water or an adult beverage. It's not going to be soda.
Right. That's such an important and, you know, not always easy change to make in your diet because we've been so, you know, become so accustomed to sodas. But cutting out soda little by little is it's going to make a huge difference in your health and the way you feel. You know, and preventing any future conditions that we definitely don't want to have. So,
all right, so
good for you and your kids.
What are we doing next? We're going to puree this in a food processor. Here.
Okay, so we're juicing it. Sounds good. I'm going to go ahead and juice the oranges in my kitchen.
Chelsea. Okay.
So you're gonna make this right.
Okay. Now I'm going to do that, and then we're going to rinse out this. So I need some of that. I need to be able to get that in the glass.
So mango, what a good idea. I love mangoes, and that's just going to make it so much more delicious, satisfying. Sounds really good. What kind of glass do you use for this drink?
I think you should use something fancy because it's for Mother's Day.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to go with one of those fancy champagne glasses.
Okay. So wait, I'm going to mix this.
So any fruit would work for this, right? We could, I'm using oranges, strawberries would be delicious.
You want to mix in the agave?
Yeah, I just need something to mix it in.
You're going to put it mix it with the...
This? I'm going to mix this in there. So put this down in there.
A tablespoon.
A tablespoon of agave. I'm going to mix in a tablespoon of agave.
Okay, tablespoon of agave right in there with your fruit?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. I'm going to follow your lead. I'm doing the same thing. I'm building my pancakes as I am making the drink.
Okay. So we are. Wait, we're good right here. All right, we're good right there. And they're gonna.
So if you don't have a food processor at home, you could just buy pureed mango straight from the store, right? You don't have to.
Yes, and we actually have that here. Yes. And so if you wanted to, you could do this.
Exactly. Or that you can also get it frozen in the frozen section.
Yes. All right. So we're gonna mix this.
Are you putting that in a bowl or in a pitcher or something?
I'm putting it in a bowl right now, but that's because I don't have a pitcher handy. My sous chefs and they're slipping right now. Okay.
So now we just combine the two, right? Like, what's the ratio? Do we know? Is it half and half?
A cup of Pellegrini, a cup of carbonated water. I need something bigger, y'all. This ain't gonna work.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and do it right into my glass.
Okay.
A cup of well, about a cup, not that much because it doesn't fit in here, but I'm gonna do about half and half. Pellegrino, and this is my orange juice and agave. So pretty and fancy.
All right.
So this looks like an amazing Mother's Day right here. So easy to make too. And you can always add a little bit of your favorite adult beverage to this if you wanted to, right?
I couldn't say it, but you said.
Wow, that looks really nice. I love it. Give it a nice stir and you're ready to go. And so good for you.
Yes. All right. Now we're going to bring these pancakes over here, you all.
Yeah. See your pancakes.
All right. These are my pancakes.
They look awesome. They look really good.
We had problems with the perfect circles, but we did fine.
No, we don't need perfect circles with pancakes. They can be any old shape. All right, so syrup. I added some bananas to mine, so I added some bananas.
Oh wow, you spicing that up? Yeah, you did that.
You could add a little dash of cinnamon there. I love maple syrup, so I'm adding maple syrup to mine. But you know, the toppings are all about what you like and what your family likes. But maple syrup is just, you know, irreplaceable.
Hey, tasters.
What are you putting on there?
That's maple syrup.
Okay. So maple syrup, if you have blueberries, strawberries, you can like give it a little bit of color too. That would be really nice. But this is going to be delicious just the way it is. So I'm going to give it a try, and I'm going to give this drink a try too.
All right. Let me just cut up some pieces here.
Oh, wow. That's delicious. I have these really nice ripe Florida oranges that are just amazing.
Come on over, Nisha. Al, Levere.
Everybody's going to give it a taste?
Oh, they're all going to taste it. Yes.
Okay.
There you go. All right. There you go. Come on camera, Nish. Al, Levere, you all get in here. Here you go.
Banana oatmeal pancakes with maple syrup.
There you go.
Here we go.
Okay. All right, with maple syrup. Let's see. Petula, I ain't forgot you. Give me napkin. So
remember, if you're making this at home, you can let those oats sit in the batter just for a few minutes to let the oats soak up some of the liquid and become a little more tender. When you cook it right away, those oats are still super complete.
Hey, you know what?
Yeah?
I gotta tell you, I was on the fence about whether this was gonna taste good.
Okay.
I wasn't all the way in. I was gonna win an Academy Award for pretending like it tasted good.
Mm-hmm.
But y'all, this is pretty good.
It is.
Yeah, it's pretty good. No, this works.
So glad you liked it.
Yeah, hold on. Let me get him a drink here. Oh, very good.
So good.
Yeah.
I love the carbonated water in there. It really is delicious. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, and with juice, you want to sort of control the amount of juice that you drink, because juice has a lot of natural sugar, and it's still sugar. So you got to be careful. So combining it with this carbonated water, Awesome idea. Great idea. Tell your friend that we want to see her on the show.
I'll tell her. Hey, you all these pancakes, they rock. Listen,
Mm-hmm.
Mother's Day, oatmeal, banana, oats and banana pancakes, and your special mango virgin mojito with carbonated water and fresh fruit. This would be a great surprise to your mom. Most of all, the effort. Listen, if your mom was like my mom, I messed up a lot of breakfasts for her on Mother's Day, and I gave her a lot of really janky cards. But it was about the fact that I was recognizing that she was special, and what I was doing for her on that day, she does for me every day. She did for me everything she does for me every day. So please, hopefully you'll make these pancakes in the strength of your mom, but do something. It's your mom. It's your Mother's Day. I appreciate you, Chef Mimi. Happy Mother's Day to you. I hope your mom enjoys it. Enjoy your Zoom conversation with her. Listen, this quarantine, this staying safe at home doesn't have to change the fact that we're a community. It doesn't have to change the fact that we're family. And it doesn't have to change the fact that we're going to celebrate our mothers. We're going to celebrate them on Sunday with some healthy pancakes.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much.
Take care. Stay safe.
I hope you enjoyed today's session. I did. Join us every Thursday at 1 p.m. on Facebook Live for healthy cooking and nutrition classes with common threads. If you want to view the session again, visit cmgengage.com/virtual. See you next week.
Now tell me, do you really think you can walk